All right, we are live and recording. This is Benny Bell with Surpass State Group and the Global Empowerment Team. Today we are bringing you more value, and my co-host Khalil Macklin. How you doing today, sir?
I like the way you said it today, Khalil Macklin. You got the L in there.
Put a
You
little,
got all
put a
the
little
syllables
emphasis on there, man. You deserve it.
You know, sometimes people put an O at the end. You made sure they Khalil. You put that L at the end. I like it, man. I'm doing well. I got the AC pumping in my house. It's warm. Just relaxing, excited about this phone call. How are you doing, Mr. Benny Bell?
Doing well, man. Doing well. We kind of shared our mornings a little bit this morning. I kind of did the same thing. Got out in the backyard, watered the grass, watered the vegetables out there, and ran around with my son and our new little dog, and just kind of got prepared for today and our special guest. And how are you today, Miss Elease?
I'm great. I'm just excited about being in the presence of two awesome men and look forward to having discussion with you guys this afternoon.
Yes.
Perfect. I like that picture in the background, Black Girl Magic.
Oh, yeah.
That is nice. Is that from a local artist?
Actually, my daughter bought that for me. I don't know where she bought it from, but I know I love it too.
All right. All right. Well, let's hear some of your magic today.
Yeah, exactly. I love Black Girl Magic.
So with that said, I'll go ahead and dive into your bio. Now, everyone, this is an amazing lady. She is doing a lot to serve her community and to give back and to provide value. She wears a lot of hats. So let's dive into her bio. So Elease Cheeks is current president and CEO of Important Details Incorporated Construction and General Site Services Company, president of the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce, and trustee for the Solano County Office of Education, District 5. Elease's works has been shaped by her passion for community engagement, community growth, and economic prosperity. Elease has great passion for helping mothers and children and giving back to the community. Her compassion for combating homelessness in Solano County drove her to the Heather House, where she volunteered her business operations and HR expertise to assist Heather House improve their operational structure and assist their clients with work readiness and finance training in the effort to ensure homeless families become established, find employment, housing, and stability. Additionally, Elease has met with the supervisors of Solano County and California Senator Bill Dodd to determine how to partner with them to help combat homelessness and create work opportunities within Solano County. In 2018, she was elected by the City of Vallejo City Council to serve as a commissioner for the Solano County Commission for Women and Girls. Ms. Cheeks retired in 2012. She looks very young for retiring, so she must have been very successful then. So we're going to get into that. So Ms. Cheeks retired in 2012 to pursue her dreams to own her own construction company after working at the University of California, San Francisco as a department operations and human resource executive for 28 years. In 2012, Elease joined the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce and was elected as president of the chamber in 2015. Ms. Cheeks is the CEO and founder of Important Details Incorporated, a certified woman-owned construction and general site services company. Important Details is an environmentally conscious general contractor for commercial and residential building and renovation. IDI's mission is to serve as a community partner and vessel in economic development and empowerment to provide job opportunities, build hope, and foster dreams for citizens of Solano County. Ms. Cheeks was elected 2 terms to serve as president for the Solano County Office of Education. She is currently trustee for District 5, Hidden Brook, Mare Island, and parts of Vallejo. In this role, she continues to pursue her ambition to assist the Solano County leaders in their efforts to ensure Solano County fosters a solid K-12 educational foundation for students and is the best place to live, work, and dream for a better tomorrow. Ms. Cheeks has a master's degree in organizational leadership and coaching from St. Mary's College in Moraga. She holds professional certificates in risk management, employee and labor relations, strategic business management, workforce planning and development, total rewards, budgeting, and finance. Hello, Elease Cheeks.
Hello. Long bio. But you read it well.
That's an impressive bio right there is what it is.
Very.
So many different like Benny said, there's a multitude of hats that you have. There's a multitude of skill sets that you have. And it's very impressive. I know when I first met you, maybe almost 3 years ago, I was just impressed by your business sense. And the more I got to know, okay, this woman did retire 8 years ago, like you said, Benny. She does have her own construction company, which is successful. She continues to put herself in positions and continue to network. And I just want to know where you got that ambition, that hustle, that drive, like who instilled that in you to be the great woman that you are. And not only that, I always say each one teach one. And that's what you do. Out of one comes many. So where did you get your drive to be that person that you are and so involved in your community and with your business?
Well, the person who gave me the drive is my mom, and they call her Cookie. She's no longer with us, but she used to say, don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. And that was one of the reasons why I got in from working with the University of California, San Francisco for 25 years to being retired and trying to start my own business, because I wanted to do something that I was passionate about. And I've always liked to see things built. I always like to, when I would go to someone's house and say, oh, you should move that over there or change that was just a sense of who I was. So I thought one of the things that we always think about and have always been told is do something that you're passionate about, because it's like it's not working. It's something that you dream about when you go to sleep. You wake up and think about it. So doing it and putting all the time in, it's like a job. It's something that you're doing because you're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. That's actually one of the things that, in any leadership, any entrepreneurial, textbook or book, a lot of our guests have, copied that sentiment, and it's exactly like follow your passion, and that's what's going to keep you driven. That's what's going to keep that longevity. That's what's going to keep you waking up every morning loving what you do. And you obviously love what you do, and you've put yourself in position to give back a lot of yourself and being adding a lot of value to, especially to our youth, where it's needed. Start them early and following their passions and learning their passions. First, got to first find out what exactly motivates you. So that you just spoke to that. You spoke to you understanding that that's what you kept gravitating towards. You kept gravitating towards that, builders. You want to see things built out. You want to take things from ground zero or from changing them up. So identifying your passion is what's going to put you on that path to continue to be successful.
Right.
Which sometimes requires, honestly, going to work. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
It requires you to sometimes go get a job and realize what you like doing, what you don't like doing, where you like spending your time, who you like telling you have to spend your time doing certain things. I mean, I was in a similar boat in 2017, 18, when I retired as well. And retirement doesn't always mean, because a lot of people get retirement misconstrued. There's two types of retirement. There's retirement because I'm 65 years old. Right. And I'm hanging it up because I've done so much for so many years. Yeah. I've saved enough money, I want to retire. But then there's people like Elease and myself who obviously are 65 years old, but you retire from your first career to then pursue your passions. And it goes back to the 5 P's of success. Passion is one of those P's. It's the second P. Once you find your purpose, you can't help but be passionate. So Elease found her purpose, which gave her passion. She set up a plan, which she's executing on. She surrounded herself with the right people, which is why she's so enthralled in all these different organizations. And she's staying persistent, because I guarantee you, the day she decided to leave her job, she didn't just go and do a construction bid and do a job and was set from there. So if you could touch up a little bit on not only your passion, but that plan, that those people that you surround yourself around, that persistence that you have to keep you back wrapped around to your purpose and your passion.
Right. So I would say probably most importantly is leaving a legacy. And one of the things that I kind of recall thinking about when you see, say, the big Kaiser building and UCSF, you see the houses built on a block, you see things, you can always drive by those and say, I was a part of building that. I was a part of even being the president of the Black Chamber. I was a part of building the Black Chamber in Solano County. I was a part of assisting the homeless community in Fairfield at the Heather House. So it's all about what I have putting myself in a position to be a part of and to see those things grow. And like you had said, I am still a work in progress. I didn't just stop working. And basically, it wasn't a forced retirement, but I got to a point in the leadership. I was a director of HR, the only Black African-American female in HR at UCSF. If you know anything about UCSF, it's doctors from throughout the country, and you work with them. So I was the only African-American director in human resources, and I was still myself. So I would not always bend the way they might have wanted me to bend or do things accordingly. And I just got tired of looking at, I would not be able to go through the glass ceiling. I was not going anywhere here. This job is not going to leave anything for my people. It's not going to leave anything for my family. And it's stressing me out right now because I'm working late. I'm putting all this time into this company that is really not going to give me nothing but a retirement once I'm 65. And that's how you get the most out of it. So I took the opportunity and started building. I met Peggy Cohen Thompson at church. And at that time, she was the president of the Solano Black Chamber. And with that, she was telling me how I should start my own business. And before it was Important Details, Inc., it was Minor Details. And I was going to start a custodial company because I wanted to give jobs to folks out in Solano County so they wouldn't have to commute different places. So it's not like a plan I had, like I sat down and thought it through. Things just started to happen once I joined the Black Chamber and started working in that environment. And a couple of years, they asked me to lead the organization. So as I started leading the organization, and I still had I was morphing my business because in the back of my head, I had started doing the custodial work, but it started, I started building. Then I started meeting people, and then I met a young man who had his own contractor's license and said, how can we partner? I have here my ideas, how can we partner? And I use your contractor's license. So I'm a general contractor. So he became my responsible managing officer. I came under his license, and after 5 years, his license fell off. So I have my own woman-owned construction company who's a general contractor. So with that, and still moving forward to navigating with the chamber, with starting to meet people such as, and starting getting into politics, I kind of stepped back from my own company and didn't really invest in my company. I started investing in these other things. And so in the last 2 years, I've come back to the point where, okay, I'm going to focus on my company because I know it can be, I want an empire. I want to be a prime. I want, and it's a hard business because when I go out on bid sites or you have pre-bid meetings, it's all Caucasian men, the only Black woman. And it's familiar to me because that's how it was at UCSF. I'll be leading a meeting and I'd be the only Black woman in the meeting. So learning how to collaborate with individuals so they can see your dreams and so they can see the picture, something that I have to transition into doing with the construction business.
That's great. You touched on one thing that's kind of been your driving point, your big why. So your legacy, leaving a legacy, and that's it mirrors one of our mission statement, creating a legacy worth leaving, and it's more than it speaks to your core and that you're a giving person, you want to provide value. So leaving that legacy and then gaining more focus, and this goes back to what Khalil was saying with the 5 P's of success. And I always like to bring up the GPS. So once you have the 5 P's down, then now it's goals, priorities, and strategies. Now you get clear on the steps to get to that goal, to create that goal and to bring it into fruition. So once you've gained clarity on the construction aspect, that this is now what the business you want to get involved with. What were the steps other than, partnering up with the existing contractor? What steps did you take to instill and to create this business?
Okay, so one of the things you have to be is union signatory. So I've met with the unions here in the city of Vallejo. I've met with the trades and labor unions, and right now, actually, we're going to be meeting in the next 2 weeks to see if there's collaboration, because with the COVID-19, I can't really be out there building anything. So I have to repurpose my company. So 2 things that I thought about repurposing was the COVID-19 sterilizing. So my company would be the company that would go out and sterilize the schools, the stores, the office buildings. So I've been working and having a lot of conversations with like Wise Men and other SBA and other large companies throughout Solano County to put my bid in to be the company to go in and do the sterilization for them. So that's one thing. So union signatory, working with, say, small business administration, working with individuals who have other connections that you may not have, because it's hard to be a one-person show. You have to build a foundation, and that's what I'm building right now, the foundation partners with me that can be out there speaking for my company while I'm not speaking for my company, showing them the vision, showing them, there's a gap right now in African-American young women and men not really finding jobs. And I know you had Police Chief Shawnee here on a couple of weeks ago, and part of the issue that some of the crime is they need jobs. They need something that's fulfilling and somebody that's going to look like them and be supporting them. And I think, you're told go to school for 4 years, then go to college for 4 years and get a good job. That recipe doesn't work for everyone. But if you can have a trade, or you can learn a technique of doing something that you're proud about and you're out there, you can bring money home to your family and build for your family, you become proud about that. So one of the things I did too is I went and at my other hat as the trustee for District 5 is I went to different high schools throughout Solano County and spoke to some of the high school students about what are your goals? What do you want to do? What do you think you'll be in 5 years? And not all of them wanted to go to a 4-year college. Although education is very important, and I would stress that you need to know how to read, write, and arithmetic. But okay, so if you don't want to do that, what is the plan? And a lot of them, I want my own business. So what's the plan? So it's kind of talking our youth through that part of it. So to get back to your original question, like you have your plan, your goals, and how do you move? It's like I said, it's a work in progress. One of the things that a lot of people don't know, it is, you have to have passion, because you're not always earning income when you're working in the community. When you are helping others, you see that part of it comes down the road a little bit. So sometimes you do, like Khalil mentioned earlier, you do have to work to fund your business to keep it going. But hopefully, with some of the partnerships that I'm creating right now during the COVID, I'm using this as an optimal time to build more collaborations, get my name out there, build a foundation, not only for myself, but for the chamber, because one of the things I'm finding too is with the chamber, with this COVID-19, is a lot of our small businesses aren't in a position to capitalize on some of the opportunities that are out there right now. And it could be from just not having the CPA, an attorney, or having their books, their records, their finances together, but it's all coming out now. And it's being crystal clear when they say about 40% of small businesses are not going to recover from COVID-19. Why is that? Because they don't have the foundation. They didn't have the structure in place to make sure they survive. Yeah. So hopefully that's what I could help with in these roles that I hold.
And can you touch up on that a little bit? Because I know, and for anybody out there watching who may not be familiar, Elease Cheek has on, Tuesday night at 5:30, the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce has their own podcast that they do as well. Sometimes you got Elease on there hosting. Sometimes you got Vice President Loretta Gaddy's on there. Jonathan George from the NAACP. I've hosted a couple of them as well. But what I want to ask is, so with that being said, you've had people like Tim Murrow from the SBDC on there. You have people like Council Member Hakeem Brown and Landon Braiding on there. And you guys talk about different strategies for Black businesses. You talk about some of these SBA loans, PPP loans. Can you share some insight on namely those two conversations that you had that can help Black businesses during this COVID-19 time with creative ways of being strategic, creative ways of maybe still keeping the business open, ways to fill out some of these SBA loan forms, whatever the case is. Can you shed a little bit of light on some of those conversations you had and make it applicable to our audience?
Okay, so one of the things that it's something that comes up for me. It was really interesting. It's one of the small business owners. She called me and she said, I'm a member of the chamber and I just joined the SBA and I'm having trouble with my business, writing up my business plan. I have all these documents. I got to write up my business plan. And I was telling her, I said, well, put the business plan to the side right now. It's a PPP loan out there right now that you can apply for, that you will qualify for, and the end date is June 30th. And just the conversation between the two of us, I had to convince her to apply. I'm like, this is money on the table. And this particular PPP, it was through opportunity funding. 75% of the funds was going to be a grant, and the other 25 would be a loan at 1%. For the duration of the time. And a lot of the folks just think, well, I don't want to get into another loan. I don't want to be I said, if you get it, 75% is a grant, and you're right now trying to put together a business plan that you will submit to a bank to get a loan for your company. Right now, there's a 3-page form that you can complete and apply for the PPP and get this funds. It's like I was having to explain to her that she did not have to complete that business plan. She could do that 2 weeks from now, because the same reason why she was completing that business plan is to submit to a bank for funds. This is opportunity funding is saying complete this 3-page form and you can get those same funds. So I think a lot of why I want, say, Landis and yourself, Hakeem, because you talk about finances when you're on there, is so that our businesses can see a bigger picture, that something is not as it's like I said, you have to be passionate about what you're doing, because the money is not going to come. Unfortunately, you have COVID-19 where you have funding opportunities or agencies coming because they understand now, or the blinders are off, and now they see the disparity between Black-owned business and other businesses. But this is an opportunity now for some of our businesses to get the funding that we would normally submit to a bank and request that. We've been contacted, like SBA Tim, he calls me, workforce development, they're calling me, and that's because of relationships that I've built with them over the years, and say, how is your chamber doing? I said, well, I need you to come on, just like I call you, Khalil. Hey, can you jump on the line and talk to a couple of people? I have the same kind of relationship with them. I need you to, so now we're really engaging a lot more because of COVID-19, and now I really see how our businesses are doing. I think when I started in the Black Chamber, we had maybe about 30 members. Now we have 110 members. We have organizations like Kaiser, Travis, Credit Union, AT&T, larger organizations now coming. We're being noticed more now. Just for some of the events that we were having back before COVID-19 started. But one of the things that I think that with the loans that I take away from is that our small businesses, they think you have to do the business plan. It's like they think because when you go through you have to go through certain steps, but sometimes you don't have to go through all of those steps. If you have networks, you have people that you're working with, you don't have to. For me, I say, if you've already done it, I don't want to do it. Tell me what you did. Give me the shortcut. Mm-hmm. That's how I like doing it. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. So as far as the loans, the PPP and the EIPL, there hasn't been a lot of good success for African American business, and that's not just in Solano County, because I'm on the line with Northern California Black Chamber presidents, and that's from Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Oakland, Fresno. So a lot, and in Oakland, for a matter of fact, they started their own campaign where they started going in the city of Oakland and getting folks to give them money so they can give their own loans to their members, which was a brilliant idea. So it's an eye-opening experience for us. It's something once we, and that's why I wanted to start having the weekly Facebook Zoom live to have, so people can be in their homes and learn from folks that's already been through it or know about it or give different techniques, or if nothing else, begin networking with these individuals. So, yeah.
That's you touched on a couple things that I want to bring up real quick. And because no, this that's part of the work-life integration right there.
Yeah,
My little guy likes to come in on me
this
too.
Is my granddaughter, London. Hi,
Hi,
London.
London.
That's generational right there. I love it.
Right. Thanks for helping us out today, London.
I can't. Elise, you can't be lying to me and telling me that's your daughter, not your granddaughter. That's your niece or somebody, right?
This is my grandbaby.
Oh.
Black don't crack, right? Okay, so let me get back on point. So you raised up a couple of topics, one of which stuck out to me because of my background. I'm a transformational coach. So one of the first things that we do is evaluate where the client wants to be and what's keeping them from getting there. Our first call was on mindset, and that is the first thing that you have to dive into when you want to get clarity on moving forward in any on any endeavor that you want to start, especially your own business, because of the large obstacles that are already out there. One, like you said, you might not get paid. You have to have that passion. You have to be clear on if this is your passion, if this is in that you're going to put more effort actually in starting your own business and working in your own business than you will by just working at a job, getting a paycheck.
Right.
So mindset, and we already have all these limitations on us already, outside of our own mind. So now it's getting rid of those limitations. So that's what we talk to first. That's the very first call, and that's the very first thing that we started talking to, is bringing down those limitations that we already have and put on ourselves. So just like the example that you talked about with the young lady who was just narrow focused on getting this business plan. However, you were telling her that, well, that's not the priority right now. The priority and what you're doing, and this is going to be a better way to put you in a better position, because one, you're doing this for this reason. However, this is now the system because of COVID-19. This is we're in unprecedented times, obviously. However, this scenario has just been created, and so now you don't have to do this. You could do this route and get to your final destination by getting that money, the proceeds you need to establish your business. So when you're obviously out there, with the Small Business Administration, you're speaking to a lot of business owners, especially Black business owners. Would you say that what would you say is the biggest obstacle? Is it education, learning the steps to establish your business, funding, or is it the mindsets? That they already have a specific perception of how they need to run their business, and they're stuck in that same, in that mindset.
I think it's a combination. I think it could be mindset. It's definitely funding, but I think it's also mindset. And if you didn't grow up, or if you're not around people with the same similar mindset as having your own business or being an entrepreneur, it's hard. And like Khalil asked earlier, said, what is it? Why are you doing all these things? I think some of it is just part of your character. Is who you are, how you want to live, and even and for me, it's like for my construction company, it's building. I may not get to that prime status I want to, the empire that I talk about, but the legacy I leave, it'll be something that my people, African American people, other contractors, people, as I build my team, can help it grow. Like it's a corporation. I sell stock, so I'm looking for investors to help. So it's a mind. So to answer your question, I think it's the mindset. I think it's the people who you built around yourself as a team. It's absolutely funding, because it's hard to do anything when you don't have the money. I think it's, like purpose, persistence. You have to have a purpose. You have to be persistent about it, and you have to have like a tenacity. It's just have to be dogmatic about, I want this to work, even when it seems like it's failing. People around you, even the closest people, tell you that this is not going to work. And a lot of people, their mindset say, yes, it hasn't been working for the last 2-3 years, I'm gonna give it up, or let me go to the next thing. But if it's something that you are passionate about, those things, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. So I think it's the mindset. Yes. Because the mindset will get you the funding that you need. Your mindset will get you around the people you need to be around. Your mindset, when everyone else is telling you no, is telling yourself, you can still do that. There's another way. You'll look at a different way. That strategy didn't work. Let me move to the next strategy. Let's look at the next plan. Let me get myself a mentor. Let me, talk to who I need to talk to get this done. My mind is already set on, I'm going to be a successful business person. And that's what everything that I do is going to be working towards that mindset.
Right. You touched up on mentorship, and what I was thinking about when you were talking about the mindset, one of the things is you have to be committed to learning. I think that's crucial, especially for our community when it comes to business owners. It's tough for us to sometimes say, okay, I'm going to listen to what Benny has to say and actually put into application what Benny says. Like, I see a lot of people, they know they need to go to the gym, but do they actually go to knowing you need to go to the gym, but getting up, putting gym clothes on, leaving to the gym is completely different from knowing.
Okay.
All
right.
my point is that we have to be committed to learning, because if you're committed to learning about things like the SBA loans, and 75% of it is a grant, and you learn that a grant means you don't have to pay it back, and you learn, okay, the other 25%, this can help me weather the storm and generate more revenue to pay that loan back plus some. A lot of my savvy clients that are business owners, they have life insurance policies in place that pay them. So times like this, they don't have to worry even about a loan if they don't want to, because they're paying themselves through certain financial moves that they've made. You mentioned something about stock. You mentioned something about investing. If you make certain of these moves, it goes back to your plan and people, so you know the right people. You can avoid a lot of these things by learning. So I want to say that we have to continue to learn. You mentioned a moment ago, work in progress. My pastor used to mention, Pastor Fleetwood Irvin in Second Baptist in Vallejo. He would always say, we're masterpieces in progress. You a masterpiece. Benny's a masterpiece. We got Keith on the line, who's a real estate agent over at Remax, I believe, in Fairfield. And he's a work in progress. We're all masterpieces in progress, but in order to get to that masterpiece level, or as you mentioned, maybe I fall short of what I consider my masterpiece. But if I continue to educate myself and continue to put myself with the growth mindset in the right positions, then I'm going to get as close to that as possible. I'm going to ensure that that legacy is left. And a lot of people get legacy misconstrued. Legacy isn't just finances, although that's a good part of it. Legacy is mindset. Legacy is work ethic. Legacy is belief in community. Legacy is belief in the Lord. All of these different things lead to the proper mindset. And I just want to congratulate you right now, because what I know about you is you go into everything with a great mindset. You utilize your network. We've had conversations where, like you said, you're in a room with Bill Dodd, Gavin Newsom, all these people who are making big decisions, and that's part of your network. So I just want to have people take a page out of this testimony of Elease's, because this woman here has taken herself through different realms of work, from corporate to building her own business to being established, and the things that she's doing with the Black Chamber is amazing. So with all that being said, what are some of the things you have in place for the Black business owners during COVID-19, aside from the classes or the podcast that you're doing? Are there any workshops that you have maybe coming up where someone like Benny and myself, or some of these other business owners who have best practices to put into place, not only for business owners, but for the family side of the business owners? Because every business owner I know is a family person as well. So what strategies do you have in place, or implementations do you have in place, policies or procedures, to continue to help our Black businesses here in Solano County continue to grow?
Mm-hmm. So that's an excellent question. And, I was at the time with COVID-19 and the PPP funding, EIPL funding, that was a focus to just get our communities to make sure they take advantage of those funding opportunities. But I've been having real serious conversations with the other Northern California Black Chamber presidents. Like I said, we talk all the time about because everything now is going to be Zoom. And now you don't have to go to a meeting across the town so we are putting together a summer curriculum for all of the Black Chambers. So you won't just be hearing from Elease and Solano County Black Chamber, you'll also be hearing from Carl Davis in Silicon Valley. You'll be hearing from Jay King, the president of California Black Chamber. So we are about training and pulling together a curriculum for what do our communities need. And as an African-American community, it's not just what Solano County needs. To grow, you want to know what the Northern California or California African-American businesses need. So we are talking about that. We haven't developed anything as of yet. Right now we're building partnerships with, say, but not Best Buy, Office Max and different organizations throughout Northern California to help sponsor it so that we could, put it on as a group of Northern California Black Chambers. Mm-hmm. But workshops, like you said everyone, one of the things about being an entrepreneur, you have to have a person, your spouse or the person that you're connected to have to understand that world. And I would think that would be one of the important things that we should talk to our community about, is because if you're used to going to work from 8 to 5, and have a certain routine, and then you decide I'm going to start a business, and your partner would be like, well, what does that mean for our family? And if they don't understand that, I think that has an impact on not only the person trying to pursue the business, but also the relationship and also the family. So I think as African-American community, we need to talk about what entrepreneurialism is in our community and in our families. How do we tell our kids, go get a job, go to school, go get a job? What should we be saying to them? We should be saying, get as much education as you need and determine your passion and make a career of that. Be able to speak to people and share your insight and your thoughts. So go back to answering your question. I would like to have a youth entrepreneur program. And that was a program that we was going to have before COVID-19, where it's just a Black, millennials Black Chamber, where it's just youth that start building their own Black chambers. They have so much information, so much thought about everything, and they're quick with everything. And they, I think, network a little better than some of us who are more old school. So I had wanted to set up a youth entrepreneur program and bring in Tony Mallory, Tony Santos, Tiffany, who are part of the board. One of the things that I've done as a president is I looked around and looked for a board that had diverse expertise that they can give to the chamber at the time of what I thought we needed as a Black chamber. So we are going to be putting on seminars, but we're working through those now. We're working on what is the need now. So it's just not something, one of the things, procurement, certifications, where do you start? You get a business license. Certain things are easy, but you can do them one day. You go get your business license, you get your secretary, get your EIN number, certain things you can do. And we would like to write it down and have a step by step. Here, this is what you have to do. So we're just talking about it right now and trying to figure out how we can get the information out to our communities.
Benny, really quickly, I just want to interject one thing really quick, Ben. Vacaville has a young professionals at Vacaville network, so you're right. I think it would be crucial for us to have a young professionals network within Solano County. But the second thing I wanted to say is about education is education doesn't stop when it comes to school. Like, a lot of education comes in life practices. So a lot of people think, oh, it's only school that I get education from. Sometimes you learn a lot more. Not to say I love school. Education is crucial to me. Benny and I talk about education. That's the key component to why we have this podcast, is because every single guest, including you, comes on and they drop not nuggets, but they drop boulders. This is education at its finest, okay? But education doesn't just stop in the classroom, is what I was getting at. You can sometimes, there's people who, like you mentioned, maybe college isn't your thing. You can still be successful. You can still educate yourself. You can still learn each and every day. You can still have a growth mindset if college is not your thing. But I was taught the same thing like most of us. Go to school, get a job, you retire. And there's so much room left in between. Go to school, get a job, you retire, that I think that's where the groundwork really needs to be done in our community, is talking about all the things in between. Go to college, get a job, and retire.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's actually what I was going to touch on too, Khalil. I mean, because you raised an interesting point earlier, Elease. You said you don't have to recreate the wheel. So that goes to your panel that you want to establish. And you mentioned a couple of very successful people here in the community. And it's having conversations with those people that are successful in their endeavors and reverse engineering. Because you mentioned earlier, like, I don't need to make all the same mistakes that you made. You know, what worked? You know, it's having those masterminds with successful people, and that goes, you know, with the coaching, with having a mentor. You don't want to have to fall through. You get to your destination a lot faster by having those conversations with people and having purposeful conversations, purposeful questions around what worked for them in their field. How did they fine tune their goals? How did they fine tune their steps? What do they do all the way break down to all the way, what do they do on a day-to-day basis? One of the things that I love about the company I'm partnered with, Keller Williams Realty, they're one of the best. They have some of the best training programs nationwide, and they really dive into masterminding with other successful real estate agents, and then also breaking it down to what do you do every day? How many calls do you make every day? What time block do you set up to make those calls? How many potential clients do you reach out to every day? What's the scripts? What's the conversation that you have? What type of questions do you answer? So that's education. That's educating yourself specifically for the field that you want to get into. Now, it's essential to get, math, science, get as much education you can out of the school system. However, if you're not going to be in a specific career, such as a doctor or a lawyer, college may not be the right way for you. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, and now it's being educated by entrepreneurs. So so far as your goal on your curriculum, on the program that you want to set up, what are you reaching out to other people outside of the small business administration? The Black Chamber of Commerce, or is it solely within the Black Chamber of Commerce? And then 2, what niches are you filling? What type of businesses will you be filling with this program?
Well, right now it's only been conversations through with the Northern California Black Chamber presidents. I've been talking to them, and then I've also been talking to Jay Keene, the California president. So about just that, how do we bring more African American entrepreneurs to the table, and how do we make sure that they're successful? What can we teach them? What are because if we're and everybody that says they're going to be an entrepreneur and people think, oh, you're making a lot of money. That's not the case all the time. It is, like I say, a work in progress. It's people that you bring to the table, and there may be places that you're going to make money, and then you can make a whole bunch of money if you hit. It's like it's hitting the sweet spot at the right time. You might make, and that's being in the right place at the right time. You could be in a situation where it could grow and you could make a lot of money. But if you're not in those places, you're not going to be able to have that opportunity. One of the things I had wanted to just step back and say is I don't know if you guys know about John Finney. That's a high school here in Vallejo. And it was an aha moment for me. I went to, they had all the local trades come to speak to the students there. And they asked me to come and speak to, so you had carpenters, you had plumbers, you had electricians, you had, you know, fireproofers, everybody, men, all men, and they're lining up and they're all going and they're talking to a auditorium full of well, not an auditorium, but about double-sized classroom full of students, male and female students. So they're all talking about, you know, what they do and everything. So I get up and talk, and then I say I'm a general contractor. Soon as I said that, you can see the students leaned up. They're like, you're a general contractor. Then the girl students start raising their, how can you be a contractor? How are you? And I was in a suit too. I should have dressed down for that day, but I said, yeah, I have boots. I have put on a hard hat, and if I have a project, I tear down walls, I build up walls. And they said, how do you become a contractor? How do girls become contractors? But they don't know about it. So, and I'll just go back to the contracting, filling a gap, of filling a niche. You got a population of young students right now throughout Northern California that they want to do something. They don't want to necessarily go work for McDonald's. They don't want to work for those type of things. But if they can go to a work site and become a laborer, you know, and learn from that, and there's a path to, once you do this for a couple of years, you go here, here, here. It's like a trigger for them. I mean, it was just the way they engaged and started raising their hands, because when they see, and this is for African American community, when they see the white and Hispanic trades talk about with it, there was no connection. It was like, well, you know, that's okay. How do I do that or whatever? But when I got up there and started speaking, it's like they started raising. How do you do that? How did you get into it? Because they were familiar. I mean, and they felt a little bit probably more comfortable with me as an African-American person doing it. And that leads me to just say another part, like being an entrepreneur, is like your character, what you think. You're always thinking about, okay, your mind is going, what can I do? And when I say I was talking to the SBA and some of the unions, what I would like to do is within the next year is start my own training where I can train before, because the path for a construction, you go in as a laborer. So how do a laborer get in? A laborer comes in, I know you got a cousin, a friend, the superintendent, a foreman, or anyone in the trade, whatever trade, they have cousins, friends, brothers-in-law, and they bring them in as laborers, and they help move them up. So if you're an African-American person and your uncle or someone is not up there looking out, so you might become a laborer until somebody's cousin needs a job. And then you just get fired, right? You know, there's no holds bars. It's one of the hardest trades to be in. But my thought is, if I can train you, and if I could start partnering with some of the other contractors out here in Northern California and help them to see what I see and make them more, I won't say compassionate, but make them, you know, open their eyes a little bit more about the disparities that are there,
and recognize the value that's there.
And also at the same time help the individuals to learn what they need to do when they come to work. As a laborer, you're a hustler. You're hustling. You're like the person said, do you need something right now? Can I help you with that? And that's what they make. It's like you're hungry. It's like you're hungry to be in the trade. So I would like to teach that, and that's some of the collaborations that I'm doing right now in the next 2 weeks with the SBA and with the trades and labor unions to see, because they already have training classes, but I want to see if I can partner with them and have like a introduction to the construction field training class. And once I get the laborers to a certain point, the contractors will hire them from this the school. And it'll still be important details. I think it's just an umbrella. I said it's a big umbrella.
Right.
Now, you know what I hear from that, and it's something you touched up on a moment or earlier, Benny, and it's something that Benny and I we mention every show, is GPS, goals, priorities, strategies. Another thing I came up with, Benny, is guidance, preparation, and solutions, which is kind of the same things. Because here's the thing, if you got goals, if you've got guidance, it helps you with your priorities. It helps you with your preparation. And when you prioritize and when you prepare, it helps you with your strategies or your solutions, which then go right back around to the goals. So I think a lot of these things we're talking about is turn our GPS on, actually having a goal, prioritizing and strategizing, actually having some form of guidance, which is what we're providing. These things, every time we have a show, it's GPS, it's guidance, it's giving you preparation, it's giving you some solutions. But what I want to say is, it's never too early nor too late, I think, to prepare. There's the McDonald's owner out here, CCN. He does a lot of philanthropic work.
Absolutely.
You know his story. He didn't start buying McDonald's until like 50 or 60 years old. You know what I mean? So he didn't get his GPS on, so to speak, until later in life. But this man is a multi-millionaire time and time again. He owns the majority of McDonald's out here in Solano County. There's actually a black woman that owns a McDonald's out here on Beck Avenue as well. But with that being said, when did you turn your GPS on? I know for me, I turned my GPS on at 25, but I probably didn't look at it again until maybe I was 30, which was the wrong thing to do. I probably wanted to look at it every 6 months to a year. But then I started looking at it more regularly. But my point, once again, is never too soon nor too late to look at your GPS or to start turning your GPS on. For you, when did you really start paying attention to GPS, goals, priorities, and strategies?
Now, I'm going to say this, but I think my GPS is always, I was born with my GPS, but I didn't tap into it until like I was a teenager. And to make money, what I would do is braid hair. You know, back in the day, people would come, I would make like, honestly, I would make like about $500 a week just braiding hair. You know, the braids you see now, I used to teach people how to braid hair or braid their hair before all of this braiding hair. So I think in high school is when it was like, I liked doing this, but I was still working and I liked it. And as I was working at UCSF, braiding hair and like working and doing that. And then still elevating in your work and still elevating. But the GPS for my own company was, it was like an aha moment, I think probably after I had kids. And it was like working real, I mean, I would always go to all of their events and stuff, but after that, because, you know, you're a manager or director in a company, you're black, you working harder than the average person. So I would always have work to do in the late evenings to the early mornings, presentations, and it just kept going. And I think at the age of about 40, well, even before that, because I was trying to do Amway, I was trying to do all these fly by night, trying a little bit. I mean, I've always had that desire. I always had that desire. So it was even before that somebody said, "Oh, I got a good idea," and I'm listening. Tell me what is it? You know, how can I fit in? You know, and you do it until it's like, okay, that's going to be a dead end. That's going to be a dead end. That's going to be a dead end. That's been around too long. But I think for me, I go back to that passion. It's like, what do I do every day? What do I like doing? I like decorating my house. I like cleanliness. I like building or knocking down the wall and going back painting it. I mean, that makes me, and you go back and you see somebody smile, that makes me happy. So I think probably around in my 40s was when I was like, I can wake up, go to sleep, wake up, don't get money yet for it. And I think I would continue to still like to do that more. And then as I'm getting more into it, I see that, because for instance, my son, brilliant young man, sweet, smart, everything, but he just did not want to go to college, did not want to do it. But he would work hard. You tell him to do something, he had the same, he's the same, he likes to paint, clean, pick up, do all kinds of things like that. So it's like just tapping into people and giving them other options. So my GPS, I think around my 40s, and that's where it's like, okay, I see I'm really passionate about this. I really like this. I'll do this even if I wasn't getting paid to do it. But my, character is that eventually I'm gonna have to get paid for it. I'm gonna have to navigate to see, like I said, make this a training class. Okay, I'm gonna make it a COVID sterilization. So it's still in the same frame, but I'm, got to make money doing it. Mm-hmm. So like I say, with IDI, it's not only I sell stocks. So, and that's one of the things I'm going to start doing and working with folks too. It's like getting investors, starting selling stocks. Next move is get a storefront so I can have a training area where people can come and train. Right now, while we're doing the COVID, it'll just be building. Actually, it was really interesting. Sister called me last week. She said, I'm a professional taper. And if you don't know what a taper is, it's like that's, you know, with the wall. It's like with the wall, there's no wall here, but they make the wall. After they built the frame, they put the stucco on and they make the wall. She said, I'm a professor. I said, you are? I said, how long you been doing this? She said, I've been doing this for like 25 years. And it's like, there's no work out here for me now. And then so I'm going to be working with her. So well, maybe you could help. I'm looking at starting a training facility. Maybe you can help with that. And then she had talked about some of the training facilities that she was trying to get into and couldn't afford. And I said, well, let's talk about it. Maybe we can find some funding for you to get into that training. And then you can take the training and bring it back to my company. So, I mean, it's always thinking of an avenue, or even with the realtors. I said, I'm gonna start tapping into all the realtors. All the realtors, they have houses that need to be cleaned out, staged, painted, fixed before they start a new, they bring, you know, some of their clients in. My company can do that. If I could get a team together and start working with realtors, when you guys have houses out there that need to be cleaned or fixed, so instead of getting a 350, you get 450 just because of the way it looks. You know, our company will be doing that kind of thing too. So it's always thinking about, even in the, I won't say construction, but in the building, beautifying, in that range, thinking of all type of opportunities your company can fill the gaps that are out there.
Right. You know, that's one of the commonalities that entrepreneurs have. We're always thinking of new ideas. We always have multiple, thinking of multiple streams of revenue. And it just, because I know we're at the hour, we're a little bit past the hour mark, and Elease, again, thank you so much for, you know, providing, like Khalil said, boulders today. And you know what, this, because what I'm going to say is we're going to need a little bit more time to kind of elaborate on. But you brought it up a number of times, is getting clarity on the streams of revenue that you could possibly get through the passions that you have. And one of the tactics that I've learned in a number of different business books that I've read, and I'm gonna leave this for the audience, is write out 10 of your passions, 10 things that bring you a lot of joy, and then cross out 7 of them, because 3, and focus on those 3. Because one, as entrepreneurs, as our nature, we're going to be spinning our wheels, and we're going to be trying to wear hats for all these different passions and try to bring revenue streams from all these different passions. And it's not going to allow us to get laser focused and then build up an empire and be very successful. It's just like the Pareto principle. It's concentrating on the 20% that's going to bring the 80%, right? Dialing in on the small things that's going to create the great things, and time blocking that time out throughout every day. And in any business, it gets monotonous, because one, you're doing those small things every day. However, you're within your passion. So you're building up your brand, you're building up your business. And so that's one thing from the successful people have, you know, dialed in, versus, like you mentioned earlier, someone that's just entrepreneurial who might not have established that wealth as of yet. So that goes back to a mindset thing, recognizing that, yes, you know, I may have all these different things that I love to do. However, I need to get laser focused on at least, or maybe just 3 of these, or maybe just 1 for now. Build that out, and then replace myself. Because once you have a successful system, you don't have to work in that same business all the time, right? You can replace yourself as that CEO for that company, and then follow your other passion and start another company.
Yeah,
that's what very successful people have done, and because we all have 24 hours a day. It's how to time block that day to be purposeful. So just want to leave that.
Well said. I like that.
Definitely.
I like that, especially you say, I think Landis also had mentioned that in one of his, when you guys were meeting, is that at any point you should know, if you needed to sell your business, how much can you sell it for?
Yeah. Yep.
Because and you're creating businesses, and you're moving on and allowing others to buy it. So well said.
And that's a big fallout that I see. Well, I wouldn't say a fallout, a big misconception that I see in real estate, because most real estate agents, and I was guilty of it too, until I learned from one of my mentors. Most real estate agents, the first thing they do is put their name on their company. You know, Benny Bell Real Estate Group, or so and so real estate, right? If you're not looking at long term, how do you sell that business? You know, are you actually a business, or are you just an agent? So understanding how business works, and like Linda said, you know, what's the next step? How can you successfully sell that business and move on and replace yourself?
Yes. Great information today. We did have a couple of guests that joined us live on our actual Zoom. I know we had some people watching through Facebook as well, but we want to thank Dr. Gethsemane Moss. She continues to show support. She continues to do great things in the county of Solano. Great person. I appreciate you. And then we've got Keith McCullum, who I met maybe 7, 8 months
before the pandemic hit.
I'm sorry?
It was before the pandemic hit.
Yes, it was before the pandemic hit. But thank you for watching as well. Keith, do you have any questions for us before we get out of here?
No, I don't. But I do have a comment to make. I enjoy all of you guys' Zoom meetings here. And Benny, I love your nuggets that you dropped from that KW training, man. They're all good, buddy.
Definitely. Thank you, Keith, for
All
joining in today.
It's a pleasure to be associated with you guys. I love it.
Thank you. And I'm still going to call you for us to have lunch, Keith. I promise. I know we pandemic came, we didn't get it done, but I'll call you. We'll do a virtual lunch. We'll both make some burgers and eat them virtually.
I don't have any problems eating any burgers, man. No problem at all.
But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will post this. We're all up to date on our YouTube page. This will be posted on our YouTube page. We want to thank everybody who took time out of their Sunday to watch this, whether you're watching live, whether you're going to watch later, you watch tomorrow, whatever it is. Elease, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, from taking one of those 10, 11 hats off and putting this hat on. We appreciate it. And go to our YouTube page, go to our Facebook page, go to our Instagram page, follow Elease Cheek as well. Go to Solano County Black Chamber, hit the thumbs up and the like and the subscribe button on all of those pages, because as much content as we bring you, Elease is bringing you valuable content through the Solano County Black Chamber as well. And our whole goal is to empower and uplift and impact positively our community. So thank you, everybody involved today.
Okay.
Thank you again, Elease.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw this out there real quick. Think about it. We'd like to have Elease back for a 101 on construction business, on how to establish your construction business. Throw that out there.
It'd be my
Thank you, Elease.
pleasure. My pleasure. All right.
Hey, and thank you, Elease.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a great, thank you guys for having me on.
Bye.
Have
Take
a great
care.
rest of your day. Bye-bye.
All right.